Your boss already knows you are not going to leave. He knows your salary, he knows your mortgage, he knows your daughter just started a new school, and he has calculated almost to the dollar the exact amount of discomfort you will absorb before you start updating your resume. This is the part nobody warns you about. Your job is not paying you what you are worth. It is paying you the minimum required to keep you from leaving. Think about your last performance review, the conversation about your raise, the way your manager paused before naming the percentage. That pause was not him searching for words. He was confirming a number that had been decided in a meeting you were not in 6 weeks earlier. There is a number inside your manager's head right now. It has nothing to do with your performance. It has everything to do with your inertia. By the end of this video, you're going to understand how your salary, your title, and your workload were calibrated against a single internal calculation, your replacement cost minus the friction of you leaving. And once you see that number, you will never read another performance review the same way again. Here's what every functioning company does quietly every quarter. It sorts its employees into 2 categories, flight risks and lifers. A flight risk is someone the system believes is actively comparing the market. They get the retention bonus. They get the surprise raise. They get the meeting where the manager says, "I've been meaning to talk to you about your future here." A rifer is someone the system has classified as not going anywhere. You do not get told which category you're in, but your manager knows, the HR system knows, the compensation review knows, the analyst running the numbers in December knows, and once you've been classified as a lifer, the math changes. Your raise is no longer benchmarked against the market, it's benchmarked against your last raise. Your title is no longer compared to external roles, it's compared to the cost of printing you a new business card. Think about the colleague who suddenly got the new title in the corner office last quarter. Nobody saw it coming. He hadn't done anything visibly different. What changed was that he started taking longer lunches with his phone face down, and somebody noticed. This is not malice. Your manager is not a villain. He is calculating workload, retention budget, and replacement cost across a team of 15 people. You are one row in a spreadsheet, and your row has been marked stable. The trap is not that the system underpays you. The trap is that the longer you stay without leaving, the more confident the system becomes that you never will. Here's the part nobody warns you about. The mechanism that keeps you stuck is not laziness.
It is not fear. It is not lack of ambition. It is the architecture of your own competence. Every year you stay, your skills become more specific to this company's particular systems. You learn the internal tools, you memorize the politics, you build relationships that only exist inside this building. From the outside, this looks like seniority. From the inside, it is a slow narrowing of your options. Your manager understands this curve. He has watched it happen to the people who used to sit at your desk. He knows that around year 3, your fluency in this company's particular dysfunction starts to feel like irreplaceable expertise. By year 5, the idea of starting over somewhere else feels less like an opportunity and more like a loss. And here is the second consequence you were not warned about. Your salary is anchored to the day you walked through the door. Every internal raise is calculated as a percentage of what you already make, which means the lower you started, the lower you will always be, relative to the people who joined 2 years after you at a higher base with 2 years more market leverage in their pocket. The market does not reward loyalty, it rewards movement. But there is a deeper mechanism, and this is the one your manager will never describe out loud. Your boss does not actually want you to be happy. He wants you to be just unhappy enough to work hard and just satisfied enough not to leave. This is not a flaw in his management style. It is the equilibrium he is paid to maintain. A genuinely happy employee is dangerous. A happy employee has bandwidth. A happy employee answers the recruiter's email. A happy employee gets approached at the conference. A happy employee starts wondering what else is out there. A miserable employee is also dangerous. A miserable employee leaves. So the system targets the middle. enough recognition to keep you reaching for the next promotion, enough friction to keep you from believing it could be easier somewhere else, enough vague hope about your future to delay the conversation you would otherwise have with yourself this Sunday night. Watch how this plays out in your own week. A small win on Monday, a frustrating decision overturned on Wednesday, a vague comment about next quarter's budget on Friday. The pattern is not random. The dial is being adjusted. This is why the friction never quite resolves, why the promotion is always almost happening, why the project that would change your trajectory is always pending one more approval. The pending state is the product. You are not waiting for the system to decide. The pending is the system. You did everything right.
You showed up early. You learned the systems nobody else wanted to learn. You stayed late on the projects nobody else wanted to own. You became the person your team could rely on. Every late evening you spent fixing something that was not your fault, every weekend message you answered without thinking, every time you said yes when the right answer was no, the system cataloged all of it and converted each one into evidence that you would stay. And the system rewarded you for it by quietly classifying you as someone who would not leave. This is not a failure of your character. It is not a failure of your work ethic. It is not naivety. The mechanism that traps you is built into the architecture of stability itself. The more reliable you become, the more the system depends on your reliability. The more it depends on your reliability, the less it has to pay for it. You were doing the right thing. The system was doing what it was designed to do. Those two things were never going to meet in the middle. So here are the rules nobody writes down. The first rule: your market value is not measured by your manager. It is measured by the offer you are willing to walk into his office holding. The second rule: internal promotions are priced against what it would cost to keep you. External offers are priced against what it would cost to acquire you. Those are two different numbers, and your company is paying you the smaller one. The third rule: your manager is not measuring your value. He is measuring your replacement cost. And every year you stay, your replacement cost becomes more abstract to him, while your real-world market rate becomes more concrete to the people who would hire you next. The fourth rule: the conversations that change your career are not the ones you have with your manager. They're the ones you have with the people who used to work at your company. You were never told any of this, not because it was hidden, but because the people who knew it had no incentive to share it. Your manager knew. The HR system knew. The compensation analyst running the numbers every December knew. You were not the audience for that information. You were the variable in the equation. The variable the equation was built around keeping in place. The map you were never handed looks like this. Your salary is not what you are worth. Your title is not your level. Your loyalty is not being remembered. And your boss is not going to be the person who tells you any of this, because the moment you understand it is the moment his calculation changes. That is corporate GPS, the map they never handed you.